Hello and welcome to Bridges and Beacons, our midweek devotional that catches a glimpse into our lives together as we continue to follow Christ's call to be a bridge for Christ and a beacon of his love. Today I'm sitting at DPC Sacred Grounds with Amanda Owen, who has recently called DPC her home. So grab a cup of coffee and your favorite beverage and join in for our conversation. During our Bridges and Beacons this season, we're exploring what the mission statement of the church means to some of our more recent members and how it might have caused them to think differently about the church and their faith. I asked Amanda to think about some questions and share some thoughts that she had. First off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, Becca. It's nice to be here. I joined DPC in fall of 2019, and on the calendar, it sounds like a long time ago, but really with the church being, online and things like that, I still feel like a new member because I still am meeting people and figuring my way around our DPC community, both the location and in meeting new families. But I grew up in Yardley, PA, just 30 minutes from here, and attended Morrisville Presbyterian Church when I was a kid. And then my family moved to Chicago, Illinois, and Cambridge, Massachusetts. And we moved back to Doylestown in 2014. And it did take a few years to kind of get settled and figuring out how to manage going to church and getting your son to baseball practices and tournaments on Sunday mornings. But once after settling in, I decided that it was time for me to rejoin the Presbyterian Church community. And I chose Doylestown Presbyterian Church because it's super close to our house, and we have family members that belong here as well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been a joy to get to know some of your family members too.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I look forward to many times more.
Thank you.
So it sounds like you've grown up in church and been at DPC for a while. Are there any, fun or interesting memories that you'd like to share with us?
Sure. When I first started going to church, it was just sporadic. First started going to church here in Doylestown, it was a little bit more sporadic. We would come to celebrate Christmas and sit with our family, and also Easter. But I remember one certain Christmas Eve we came, and my kids were younger. Maybe they were, our daughter was probably 11 at the time, and our son was 8. And one of the men who was working in the AV booth, he was so sweet. He saw Tyler, this little 8-year-old at church, and just tried to make church fun for Tyler. And he gave him a job of ushering. He gave him a job of collecting offering. He sat in the AV booth with the headphones on, and Tyler loved it. And it was just like a really sweet moment and just a fun memory that we have of being an early attender of church at DPC.
Yeah. And Tyler must have felt so in control and feeling like he was a part of this church.
Yep, exactly.
It was a place for him, literally a seat.
Yes,
it
was very sweet. Yes, and he needed a seat because it was Christmas Eve, so it was good.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yes.
That's a great memory. Thanks for sharing.
Sure.
So a couple of other things we wanted to know was Bridges and Beacons is about showing compassion, through these walls and then beyond. Mm-hmm. Is there a way to, that you could share a story where you were in awe of compassion?
Sure. I guess, one of the areas where I've seen compassion lately, I thought about this question that you were going to ask me. I came up with 2 different directions. One is after the world kind of being shut down because of COVID, I was in awe when our kids started going back to school. Our daughter Evelyn is a 17-year-old at a junior, and Tyler is a 14-year-old. And I was so thankful to see how the teachers really showed compassion toward these kids who had such strange learning experiences over the last year and a half. And they were forgiving as they struggled with, relearning classroom behaviors and really, giving them extra attention with their assignments and learning. So, that was just one way that I have really appreciated compassion of others in our community. And a second way that I, thought of is just with the situation in Ukraine, it kind of is amazing to me the support that a country that's 5,000 miles away has families around here with flags in their yards and stickers on their cars, and people at the church and around the community just collecting donations and doing any little thing that they can to help this country that's on the other side of the world. To me, those are just two ways of really kind of being in awe of the compassion that I've seen around our community the last year, and most recently with Ukraine the last couple months.
Yeah. It's almost that this concept of Christ's love has to just be embodied inside of you. Mm-hmm. It can't be something that you just do for show. It has to be something that you have taken upon yourself, thought about how you might want to exemplify it, and then it's wonderful to see glimpses in the community of how this compassion has been a bridge and a beacon.
Right, especially with helping in Ukraine. They don't know us. Nobody knows you're doing it. It's just people helping other people and just showing compassion and humanity. And I just am impressed by all of the support that they're getting from our country, both, big and small ways.
Yeah. Another question for you.
Sure.
Do you have any advice for anyone to be a bridge for Christ and a beacon of Christ's love?
Yes, I guess my best advice would be to jump in and try something new. I wasn't sure what my path would be at DPC, if I would be able to easily get involved, but just in meeting some, new people at church, they asked if I wanted to join a committee, and so I spent some time reviewing all the different committees that DPC has. And I decided to be a part of the Children's Ministry Committee, which has been fun. I get to work with Becca, and I get to work with my sister-in-law and some other really nice people on the team. And it was a great way to, just get to know my surroundings at DPC and the other families that come to worship on Sundays, be a part of Sunday school, and any other fun events that they're doing at DPC. So I think that that's been a really nice thing for me as a new member, to really just kind of take the leap, try something new, and it's working out great.
Well, we have great thanks for Amanda for joining us. And as you go about your week, may you be inspired to be a bridge and a beacon of Christ's love. And we wonder what ways that might be happening.